Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? I am scared for Fire Force. This is getting pretty wild, pretty fast. Not only is it getting wild fast, the loose use of like power is so weird to me. But to be fair, I feel like this is just another one of these little tiny moments that can still be saved. Seeing how not everything has happened yet, I feel like it can be saved only because of the lieutenant that was doing the things that he's doing is ridiculously strong. And for some reason, I don't know why they're already targeting the Star Clan member. Leave the Star Clan out of this. They're good people. But to see this and to not really get to understand, 100% as to why all of it's like happening is pretty scary because not only do we know all this stuff is happening, and it's going to continue to probably happen until we get, all the corporates who are continuously making all these people suffer and stuff like that. But to see that there's people amongst the actual, you know, part of the team who's supposed to be stopping all of this from happening is the most like ridiculously crazy part of all of this. And kind of gives you another eerie feeling of like who can be ever trusted after something like this. And this is very, very early on, but at the same time, here's the things that I feel like could save this whole thing is the fact that our main character can fly and stuff gives him this edge over a lot of surveillance and a lot of the ways he gets to move around and kind of finds out what's going on with people and stuff like that. He gets a very weird cheat code to be able to just fly, and just see anything from overhead, while he could be on the ground like everyone else moving slow. So it makes sense that he would be someone to notice anything out of the norm. But not only that, he has some weird like fire sense now that hasn't been really explained to any degree, where he's using his flames on his bottom of his feet, but around his ankles, around his like almost not towards his knee, but literally just his ankle and higher, a little bit higher, gets this like shaky feeling of like maybe flames being lit or maybe flames going out of control or something, like pretty much a spider sense. You could think of it like that. Like somehow his leg tingled because of some like fire or something. So that is just something that's popping off. That's something that's happened not only once but twice in this week's episode. So clearly it's a thing, and it might have been more elaborated on in the source material, which would be interesting to find out. Because I am interested in seeing if it is a 5-day period, just like the anime is, where we have our character taking out captains within like 4 or 3 days of joining. 4 or 3 days of joining, everybody. That is crazy. That is absolutely nuts. And I did go into detail why I think that is when it comes down to the scaling of the captains and how being a researcher and understanding Infernos and looking into all that stuff was the only reason why she really became a captain, because of look who could have used it. Like, look at the people who are using this information and knowing about these insects and putting them up to people's back are people that clearly would vouch for her to be a captain. Like anybody who wants to be able to do that much and destroy that many people as quickly as they did, there's no real stopping them then, right? Like, oh, this is how it's gonna be and now it's gonna end, so you can't really stop me. I'm a firefighter, and if you don't have any evidence, I'm not a bad guy. So it's one of those situations you're just kind of like, wow. How long has he been supposedly looking for this pillar of the light, someone compatible with it, and what does this all entail? But here's the other thing that I feel like is going to, or if I didn't even say anything at first, the thing that's going to save this is this lieutenant, this first guy, the guy who's in the first unit who just got kicked in his mouth in one of the most sickest approaches we've seen from our main character already. He is going to get up. He is going to be angry, and he should beat the living crap out of this foot guy. Not only should he do that, we have been reminded multiple upon multiple times that this guy is a formidable opponent. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Our characters know that they should not practically be able to win. That's why he was kind of concerned as to why Arthur, or the, yeah, our king, our knight, sorry, our knight, was so eager to be able to, cut into a place and break into a room and break into the dressers and all this stuff when he knows how ridiculously powerful the opponents are, and he doesn't care. He's like, well, we're gonna have to fight them regardless if they are the people, so who cares if I break the law on somebody who's breaking, even worse laws than I just broke by coming into this place to look for information. So, like, he's pretty smart when it comes down to that, but then when it comes down to overall what this is going to bring, if it was, like, if it happened to be the right thing and all that, it's getting crazy, man. And I love that aspect of the show is they're going really, really quick with all of the inside of the fire companies bad doing, right? Like, we're getting really quickly into the corruption, and I said corruption with, the fifth unit, and look how they turned out. They weren't really that corrupt. It just looked like it because they were willing to fight for an inferno to get them for a test subject, and beat up a rookie for it. But at the same time, if you look at how this guy is working and attacking citizens just to see if they're compatible with something and then wiping them out as if they were useless always, like, oh, well, he didn't make it, so yeah, destroy him. Goodbye. Like, that's this guy's motive. That's how he's actually doing it. So I feel like he's going to take this kick straight to he took it to the face. He's going to get up. Absolutely should start bodying this boy. And while he's bodying him, our boy should be kicking out as much flames and blowing out flames out of this building as crazily as possible to get the attention of the tuba guy and the knight. So I think it's going to be probably the closest thing we see him maybe to the edge of his life, maybe, hopefully. And I say that loosely because, I mean, he just got a really good kick on this guy, so he might be dazed and confused and some other stuff they might come up with him, so that is kind of sketchy. I am pretty scared to see if he's going to be this 5-day-year-old fire member with not much training at all, and he's going to now body not one but two of supposedly really powerful, ridiculous opponents. And if that is the case, I'm not like everybody else. I'm not going to absolutely drop the show and delete it off my channel or something like that. But I am always going to be honest with you guys. And if the story calls for him always being this strong and everybody who's worked and trained and grind up to get to even where they are is just getting surpassed by him, it just kind of tells you what they want the narrative of the story to be. Is not only is he powerful, crazy strong, and all this other stuff, he has maybe some real connection with the devil in the grand scheme of his firepower, or whoever is the fire evil supreme. He has some kind of ties with someone that just has naturally gifted fire potential, and it's not good for him to be passing it on to anybody unless he passes it on to someone who actually wants to be a hero. Which, when we saw our main character's mom, she had like demon looking ish teeth, so I'm not really sure if they're gonna go that route, but if they do, we'll see it, and I'll be definitely happy I sticked around. But at the same time, I gotta see all this through. This show looks too gorgeous. The show's story can be pretty amazing if, you know, they actually kind of dumb down the overall main character needing to be all end all everything. Like it still helps to have other characters show him up to give him reason to fight harder. So I don't know if the show knows that yet, but I hope it learns it if it doesn't. So with all that being said, have an amazing day, night, evening. I got one more anime I want to do, so if you have not heard from that anime from your boy, I still will be dropping it sooner or later. So with all that being said, thanks for the patience, and I hope you guys have an awesome one. Peace.